everyone. This might be the shortest video ever, but that's okay. I think if we make it like 5 minutes or so, it'll be okay. I'm working on an machine applique pattern, and I need to draw this moon onto steam machine. So I drew it on the steam machine, but you see, I didn't have enough over here, but I had this nice big piece to get most of the moon. So I thought that I would show you how I pieced together, and I'm hesitating here because I had my other piece already. I thought I'd show you how I pieced together a little extra piece to get this full moon, because it won't matter. It won't matter once the steam machine is down, or whatever fusible web you're using. It won't matter that it's in two pieces, as long as I don't overlap them. And the only reason I don't want to overlap them is because I don't want to have too much thickness. So I had this other piece left over. So I'm just gonna, and this is steam machine Light 2, which means there's paper on both sides. And I'm just going to put it, I don't have to match this exact. It doesn't matter if I don't have a little steam machine in that. See, there's a couple little areas that I don't have it, and I'll hold it up in a minute. So now I know, because I know that the line is coming across this way, and I know the line is coming up from this side. So I'm going to go ahead and put my, and normally I would use my light box, but let me take the ironing pad out. So I'm just going to line this up. And again, you'd use your light box, light pad to see through. I can see it okay, but you probably can't. And I'm just going to get my pencil, and I can see my line just fine. I'm just going to come across here with the line, and then I'm going to go ahead and push this line on this side. So you can see now, let me get this out of the way. You can see now, I'm trying to hold it up without the fabric flopping over here. Let me do this. So you can see now I have my whole corner. This is the corner I just pieced, and you can see how I have the whole thing. I don't know why I'm so dark. I've got enough lights on to land an airplane. So now you can see, here's the piece I added on. Oh, let me get my hand. Oh, you know what? Let me do it this way. This would be smarter, wouldn't it? So here's the little piece I added on. It doesn't have to be exact. If I have a little gap there, it's not going to matter. I'm going to be stitching out here. A lot of times when I have something that's big like this, I might just do 1 inch around steam machine, and this part wouldn't have any. But this is a wall hanging, so I don't mind having the extra thickness there, because it makes it extra sturdy for wall hanging. So you can see where I just came up. So here's where it ended, and here's where it ended, and here's the piece I added on, so I could trace right across and down. And so it isn't going to matter at all once the piece is cut out. So I just have to press this. I have to get my pressing mat. So let me hang on. I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my applique pressing sheet, Teflon pressing sheet, and I keep it on. This is, it would be like a paper towel roll, but this happens to be embroidery machine stabilizer roll, so it's quite a bit thicker, so then it's nice to have. I just don't get them that often. And I want to roll it I don't want to fold this up and fold it and refold it and refold it, because what will happen is eventually on the folds, it'll just tear. So you don't want to have that. And I've got an extra one that's, oh no, this is it. Yeah, so I have an extra Teflon sheet, but it's very thin, so I just put it inside. I try my best to be able to find everything I need. So when I press this, and if you haven't watched some of my videos on machine applique, I did a series of 4. It'll say patchabilities project or something like that, and I go really through in detail how to press. So I'm just going to do this fairly quickly, because I can come back and press it when I'm not on the camera, because, watching me press isn't going to be a big thrill. Well, unless it's, you like to watch someone else iron and you don't have to. But you notice, now I'm picking up just slightly because I'm not ironing, I'm pressing. And normally I'm going to hold it down and count to 20 in each spot. And I'm going to overlap each spot. And again, just check down in I think the playlist will be machine applique, and just check there, and I go into quite a bit of detail. If you're using fusible webbing, and I can't account for every brand, if you're using fusible webbing and your needle, your sewing machine needle is gumming up, you haven't pressed your fusible webbing enough, because it's the glue from the fusible webbing that hasn't been glued down. And yes, I put my sheet away right away, even though it's hot. Okay, so I'm going to get my scissors. And cut this out. I apologize for the noise in the background. It's raining very heavily. And if I shut the windows, it'll be too hot. So you hear like a little swishing every now and again. So you notice when I first put it down, I have extra all the way around. I don't cut this exact until it's on the fabric, on the actual fabric. Then I cut it exact. I don't need to cut it exact, and then I have to go in and cut a little more off when I put it on the fabric. So we're not cutting exact until we're on the fabric. And I'm going to leave that paper on there, because I'll either do that or I'll cut this piece out, because I don't want to peel this paper off and leave glue. In essence, it's glue back there, and then I go to use it for a project that I'm doing piecing, and next thing I know, I've glued one of my parts of my block together. And the other thing I say is, when you're tracing and your tracing's not the best, it's okay. Just make it a little more even when you cut. Because if I trace this perfectly, but then I didn't cut perfectly, my perfect tracing doesn't matter. So don't get yourself in too much of an uproar if you're not steady with your tracing. So there's my moon, and you see how it's wrinkly? That means I haven't finished pressing yet. So that's just where the glue isn't attached. So I'll go back and press it after. But I didn't want to do it while you had to watch me. So my moon goes in the corner of my wall hanging, and so this is going to be the part. This will be in the seam allowance, and this is the part I'm going to stitch. But there again, there's my little patch add-on. I don't know if you can see it. See, I'm bending it over. But I added on. So I got to use this leftover piece. This is another leftover piece. I keep them in a big Ziploc bag, because a lot of your applique, as you know, if you start doing it, a lot of applique is small pieces, and there's nothing worse than to have to get a great big piece out and do some little bit. So there's how to make yourself a little patch. I'm going to call it a little patch for your fusible web. So see you again soon. Okay, I just came back for a quick minute because I wanted you to see I pressed it and now all that looked like air bubbles. That was just where the fusible web and the fabric weren't fused yet. So it's nice and flat and smooth and everything is fine. So thanks, see you again.